BELINTASH Part-4. The Bulgarian local historian Nikola Boev expresses his theory about the name of BELINTASH as stone, rock of war, from the root of the Latin word bellum, war, and the Turkish word for rock, tash. According to a local historian, the name, BELINTASH, is significant and emblematic. He connects it with the oracle of the demons in the Rhodope, dedicated to Sabazius, Dionysus, for which a sacred war was fought, known by ancient authors. The hypothesis was finally refuted by Dr. Borislav Borislavov after the archaeological survey in 2015. Boev devoted a large part of his life to researching the folk memory of BELINTASH. According to him, his interest in the site dates back to 1955. In September 2002, he and the heirs of Asen Karajov, discoverer of the votive plaque with the face of Sabazius, founded the BELINTASH Foundation, with whose financial support the forest road to the plateau was widened and paths, a railing for safe climbing and a fountain were built. A silver plate with an image of the Thracian god Sabazius was found among the rocks below BELINTASH, dated according to some researchers to the 6th–5th century BC. According to others, to the Roman era, which is kept in the National Archaeological Institute with a museum at the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences. Regarding the authenticity of the tile, there is a dispute, in which both the claim that it was a forgery planted in order to create a legend about its ancient origin, and that the find is completely authentic are difficult to prove. The tablet with the image of Sabazius was discovered by chance by Kirill Karajov from Kurdzieva village in the fall of 1972. The find was fixed on one of the tablets that fell from the top of the rocky plateau at its foot. The application was taken to the house of Kirill Karajov, who died of kidney disease very soon after that in the hospital in Asenovgrad. The family blamed the tragic event on the BELINTASH find, and the story attributed to the sinister artifact quickly spread as a rumor in the area. Hearing the stories about the silver tin, one of the treasure collectors from the village of Banat, Smolyan municipality, Lazar Stoyev, decided to go to the Karajov family and ask for the valuable artifact. Asen Karajov, Kirill's son, hands him the tile in the desire to quickly get rid of the misfortune that the find brought to the family. In the autumn of 1981, on the initiative of local historian Nikola Boev, the services of the Ministry of Internal Affairs began to search for the find. Not long after preventing its export from the country through a smuggling channel, the silver applique was handed over to the Archaeological Institute of the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences, where it is kept in the Antiquities Fund. Documented with dimensions 12.3 to 8.2 cm, the thesis of the Bulgarian archaeologist Ivan Ristov is that the silver plate should be dated to the 6th–5th century BC. As the basis for this he points to the portrait similarity of the face of Sabazius with the gold mask with the image of a Thracian aristocrat, found by the team of the late Drive Georgy Kotov in the Svetitsa mound near the town of Shipka, also known as the Mask of Terry's archive of the original from the 11th of August 2014 in the Wayback Machine. According to Ristov, the tile from Belintash is the earliest image of Sabazirs discovered in today's Bulgarian lands, and in terms of its artistic features it is truly unique. However, his colleague Borislav Borislavov expresses doubt about the authenticity of the silver plate with the face of Sabazirs, since there is no inscription, only an image of the deity, which raises doubts that it is a forgery. Borislavov, based on his work on the sanctuary, does not share the possible recognition of Belintash as the sanctuary of Dionysus in the Rhodopes, Sabazirs, which for years many Bulgarian archaeologists have been looking for and recognizing in other sites. The proximity of Krastova Gora and the fact that in the surrounding perimeter of the mountain range archaeologists have mapped at least 5 ancient sanctuaries, some of which function simultaneously, makes the connection between the cult sites more than indirect or accidental. In the immediate vicinity are also the rock phenomenon sanctuary Karajov Kamak, the cromlech next to the Turkish Tower Peak and the sanctuaries of the Haydut Kaya Peak and the areas of Inkaya, Kazkaya and Pitvoto. According to archaeologists Borislav Borislavov and Ivan Ristov, the area can be seen as a large complex of cult places and sanctuaries, which were more or less active in different periods. Karajov Kamak Peak is located in the most southeastern part of the Gradisht Range in the Rhodopes. The place is a high rocky plateau with steep cliffs over 100 meters high. The plateau occupies an area of 4,550 square meters. All over the plateau there are dozens of pits of natural origin, but modified by human hands. The only approach to the plateau is from the southwest through a rock crevice called by the locals Boaza, cleft. The gap is 18 meters high and in its upper part about 10 carved steps can be seen, heavily washed by the flowing rainwater. The studies of the plateau were carried out in 2004 by a team of archaeologist Ivan Ristov. 3 boreholes are located in the low parts, between rocks protruding above the surrounding terrain. It was found that between the rocks, on which channels and pits were carved, a huge amount of fragments of ceramic vessels were ritually placed. The pottery found at the site has been dated by archaeologists to the second phase of the Early Iron Age, 8th–6th century BC. Ristov dates the existence of the sanctuary mainly in 2 periods, the first in the Early Iron Age, and the second, from the end of the 3rd century to the beginning of the 4th century, thanks to numismatic material found near the site. The sanctuary in the Haydut Kaya locality, located west of the Ryakata hamlet, land of the village of Mostovo. The peak is a rocky plateau with sheer cliffs on all sides. The plateau slopes to the north and is accessible by an old road on the northeast side. In the highest southern part of the peak, rock-cut pits and fragments of Thracian pottery have been documented, testifying to the presence of a cult site among the rocks. The sanctuary in the area of Inkaya, Blue Rock, was registered during a field survey in 2003. The site is located about 4 kilometers east of the village of Vrata, on the road to the village of Trimagili, and is a rock massif about 6 meters high, dominating the area of Poplar Pass. At the top of the rock, 4 circular pits with a diameter of about 0.30 meters were cut, which probably served to place a wooden structure that closed a large natural opening in the rock. The area is littered in places with fragmented Thracian pottery, but in-depth archaeological investigations have not yet been carried out. The cromlech in the area of Turska Kulja is located near the Topal Pass. Its location is on the southwest side of the top of the Turkish tower, where the cromlech with a diameter of 15 meters was built. Massive rectangular stone blocks were used for the construction, driven into the ground around a low rock. The best preserved is the western side of the site, where 10 of the stone blocks are preserved. Pottery from the 1st century BC was discovered near the center of the facility. The closest in shape and location is the cromlech near the village of Dolny Glavenac. All the above described objects fall into a separate micro-district, the cult center of which was probably the BELINTASH sanctuary, to the overall settlement picture in this part of the mountain. The archaeologist Ivan Ristov adds the Thracian settlement in the area of Chortova Mahala. Several individually located burial mounds in the vicinity of the village of Trimagili and the Topchika cave, located in the valley of the Sushitsa River, which is assumed that it was used for cultic needs. End of Part 4. To be continued.